Jonathan Goulet, his opponent coming back into the octagon for the first time at his newfound 170 pounds is Bang Ludwig.
Really interested in... Oh,
down he goes!
Hand! That is it! Unbelievable!
Welcome back to MMA Draft, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Frank Trigg, still here in the Las Vegas Sin City studios. This is another spotlight, and this week we're talking to Duane Bang Ludwig. He's a new alpha male head coach. But before him, there wasn't a head coach at all. It was a conglomerate of guys, kind of pitching words, trying to figure stuff out. But now, as of late, with Duane being there, they kind of seem to be on a roll. I would love for Duane to tell us a little bit about what it was like when you first showed up, your first 2 or 3 days on the job. What happened when you walked in there with all those little guys?
The little guys. For me personally, I'm a very detailed and structured guy. And when I first got there, I just think they lacked some structure, an overall team leader, I guess. Uriah still is. It's still the Uriah Faber show. It's still his boat. I'm just kind of playing the producer there. So there's still a lot of people. It's not just me. We have Dustin Akabara. We have Justin Buckles, Fabio Prada. We have a whole team of guys. But there wasn't really anybody accepting the main role, I guess, as head coach. So... And then that's just something that I naturally do. I've been coaching myself for so long, since I was 15. A lot of my stuff is self-taught, just off of DVDs and working with boss shooting, a week at a time, a couple times a year and stuff. So as far as one-on-one tutelage, a lot of my stuff actually came from the internet and just figuring stuff out on my own and instructional videos. So
hold on, stop. Most of your instruction comes from the internet, and you hold the record for the fastest UFC knockout in the history of all the UFC. And you learn stuff from the internet.
Yes, as we all do still. Like you just learned this about me on the internet. So, yeah.
Touche, Mr. Ludwig, touche.
Yeah. So it's just one of those things. I don't know if it was a blessing or a curse, but I felt it to be a blessing because I was able to pick and choose things that I felt worked for me and made them adapt to my style rather than coming across a coach that may have possibly made me do what he wanted me to do. And that's one thing I take into consideration when I'm coaching these guys or I'm coaching anybody. I make sure they're their own athlete first and foremost.
Okay.
I'm the guy there to put ideas in their head and allow them to run with it and be their own athlete. And I feel I have enough information and enough overall information to explain drills, scenarios, combos, setups. I have enough info in my brain and in notes that I can translate the information per individual. I'm not an in-the-box coach. I have enough information to make sure the southpaw guy gets his work, the more wrestler guy gets his work, the striker gets his work, the tall guy, the shorter guy, and a way to make things work per style and per fight, per game plan. I have a lot of information and it doesn't shut off for me. I'm always consistently making notes and just watching the internet still and watching fights like the show last night at the UFC. I made probably about 10 or 15 notes from that show last night, and it's just something that I consistently do, which is create combinations and setups and drills. So and that just comes from me and not having a coach from the beginning. So I was just something I was used to doing, and I just continue to do. I created a good habit of making notes and always constantly evolving and making sure I translate the information to per individual who needs it.
Do you think that's one of the biggest problem right now with amateur professional coaches, that they're too busy being stuck in their own little mindset, not realizing that each individual athlete needs a different set?
I think that definitely plays a key role in a lot of these athletes. And that's just one of the main things, one of my main traits for sure, that I allow the guys to be their own athlete 100% because I'm not them. And if something feels comfortable and they can make it work, because it's all about the power of belief. If you believe you can make something work, then it's going to work. That's just the way it is in life for anything. So if you have the will and you want to make it work, you're going to make it work. Well, I encourage that, man. Be your own athlete. I'm just here for guidance. I can maybe stepping here is a bit better, or maybe throwing the hook before you do that is a bit better. I'm just giving them examples and letting them run their own show and just kind of overseeing the operations. But I do have kickboxing locked down to a system and to a science, just like how wrestlers, there's specific wrestlers, there's ways to properly drill the single, the double, and the bars and all these things. I have the same systems for striking because it's not rocket science. It's people just need to put in the quality reps, and that's what people aren't doing. And I'm very detailed and meticulous, and I make sure I have different drills that can help per athlete. And man, I know too much not to teach, whether it's boastful or not, but I know what I'm doing 100%.
Who do you, besides yourself, who do you think is one of the, give me the top 2 or top 3 coaches out there right now in mixed martial arts, both amateur and pro, of course, leaving you out of it. Who else do you think out there, like the coaches that a lot of guys should be looking at?
I think I wish Boss Rutan had more time to spell athletes, because he's definitely a very smart individual with the mental aspect and how to train, why to train. And he does. See, that's one of these two. Like when I worked with Boss, he allowed me to be my own athlete. But although we are very similar in our styles, so the combinations of stuff that he would relay to me, they just felt good from the get-go. So there wasn't much like, oh, I don't like that one, I'm going to try this. I mean, like he'd show me something, and it was just for my style. Because we have similar styles, and because I believe in the Boss Rutan so much, that I wouldn't question. I knew that his instruction came from his heart, so I knew there was no second guessing, there was no BS to him at all. I never had to question him. So because of that right there, it built in a strong belief factor for me to just go ahead and execute the moves. Hence the fastest knockout in the UFC, because we were drilling that just prior to the fight. And I actually went into that fight, my left shoulder was dislocated. I dislocated about a week earlier, so that fight, that's all I had was I can use my kicks and my knees, but the safest bet was to use my right hand, and that's why I did. That was just in my mind, okay, just look for the jab, look for the jab. Oh, there it is, boom, came over the top. It's almost as if I made him throw his jab. And you know, most people, like, statistically speaking, most combinations start with the jab.
Right.
That's just the way it is. They want to close the gap. Everyone tells them, start with the jab, start with the jab. Okay, good, because now I know what you're going to do. Give it to me. Boom, good night. That's the way it works.
Perfect. One last question before we let you out of here, Duane. What advice do you have for athletes that are getting ready to jump into mixed martial arts?
I would say the first and foremost sport they should do is be a wrestler, go wrestle, because that's the strongest game in mixed martial arts, 100%. And then also, to be a successful wrestler, you're going to have to be dedicated, you're going to have regimen, you're going to have to learn from instruction, you're going to learn how to drill and be a good student. That's also one of the main key ingredients at Team Alpha Male. Primarily, they're all wrestlers, so they know how to drill, they know how to listen to instruction, they know how to show up on time, they know how to respect. They're just world-class athletes because that's how they've been brought up.
Well, there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. This is another edition of Spotlight with Duane Ludwig here on MMADraft.com. Duane, thanks for coming out. I appreciate it. And good luck with Team Alpha Male and the rest of your job there in Sacramento.
I appreciate it, Mr. Trigg. Thank you, sir.
Talk to you soon.
Take care, buddy. Bye-bye.